This is an unusual start to an episode. It's very seldom that we start at the end. We are out back at our camp the day after the hunt, looking for a cell phone, like down there in the water, in the ocean. We need a salvage expedition, not a hunting crew on this one. And there's a long story about why so much footage was on a cell phone, but we'll save that for later. It's kind of a special hunt for me. A big part of these hunts of me coming out here has been to show other people what an amazing place this is, why I'm so passionate about the Tongass National Forest. Marcus, Michael, my brother, my friends, my niece. It's just been a lot of people who I've brought up here to enjoy this experience.
Alaska's always been such a special place for me from the first time I came out here in the summer of 2018, specifically just to immerse myself in all things outdoors, working for the Forest Service. And ultimately that led me to meeting Randy, and I couldn't think of a better dream job to have than doing what I'm doing now.
We met right on this dock. That's
This was
first
the
time.
spot.
Yeah.
I was working for the Forest Service for the summer here in Petersburg, and happened to come out to do some fishing on an evening off work, and happened to see you standing out here.
This camera, come on, man. Anyways, even if this is out of focus, I know if anybody watches these videos, I don't have a very big following, but man, they're gonna know who this guy is. I'm with Randy Newberg and some of his buddies.
With Marcus and Mike Spitzer.
Hey, I would love to be doing what you're doing. That's all I gotta say. This is awesome. This is unreal.
I walked away, said I need to hire that guy.
Apparently it worked out.
It's just amazing that I actually ran into him here. So, oh man, that was awesome.
Yeah,
I'm really excited to explore this new country we're going into. It's looking
too.
good. So I feel like a very fortunate person to be able to do what I do and get to go on these adventures with Randy. It's something to be really grateful for.
Like every trip that we take here, it's always filled with some unexpected things, a few challenges, and always some difficult weather. And this hunt was a mix of all of that. You're at the mercy of a lot of things. Where we decided to go is a spot I'd never been to. I'd looked at it on the map many times. And finally I talked to Scott and said, do you think you can dump us out there? And he's like, yeah, I can get in there. That's not a problem.
I've been able to come out to Alaska and make so many more memories, such as coming out here on a hunt with my dad that we got to share together, and then coming back out here on multiple trips with Randy, filming him. Every time I come out here, I just start to think about all of my different experiences out here, and I'm starting to really rack up a lot of them.
Southeast Alaska is one of the most enchanting places I know of. The wild places, the true sense of wilderness hardly touched by the hand of man. And that drives me to share this place with people I care about. My family, my friends, and in this case, our crew. Showing them my fascination with Southeast Alaska will hopefully give them reason to care for and to advocate for this special place.
So we made it out to camp that evening fairly late, enough time to kind of get situated, get our tent set up, and get camp picked out and settle in for the evening. And just before dark that night, we spot 2 bears right across from us, about 500 yards across our camp. 2 what looked like be boars just hanging out on the beach looking for some food that evening, and we got pretty excited about that.
The day we get there is mostly look around, scout around, get camp set, get water filtered, everything ready so that the next morning you can really hit it and hit it hard. Good luck, Big Hank. See that right there? It says from Grandpa Newberg, looking for Big Hank. 1968. Yeah, I was about 4 years old when I first heard him say that. Randy, gotta find Big Hank. It was my Grandpa Newberg, my dad's father, who was always looking for Big Hank. Yet it was my Grandpa Stickler, my mom's father, who's responsible for my Alaska connections. Grandpa Stickler moved to Haines, Alaska in the 1970s after working on the pipeline. I came to Alaska commercial fishing with him, bear hunting with him, moose hunting, and a lot of other adventures that gave me reason to explore this amazing state. He loved Alaska, and for me, it was easy to understand why a person so immersed in the hunting and fishing life would become connected to Alaska the way Grandpa Stickler was. Jace, your first shot, what's the story?
I mean, based on the 2 bears we saw last night, I'd say if they popped up right now, I'd probably give them the pass. At low tide, it goes pretty dry and you can't get any bigger boats back in here. So then that's why we brought pack rafts. So we figured we can kind of hike and paddle where needed. And it worked out pretty well.
So with the rafts all aired up that morning, the idea is we're gonna go across this bay, we're gonna beach the rafts, tie them off, and we're just gonna do a lot of hiking up this big estuary that we'd found. And hopefully there would be bears there.
Well, we didn't make it more than 200 yards from camp and we saw another bear. So we're gonna beach right up here on this rocky point and hop out and get some footage and take a closer look. I'm thinking it's probably one of the bears that we saw last night, but you never know. Oh, we beached up and we're about 250 yards from that bear. Definitely gonna not go after this one.
You could kind of tell that it was a sow, right? It's got a big rump and lower shoulders and doesn't look real massive, and kind of the start of a really, really good day of bear hunting. And now we've got low tide, so we can make some really good time walking up these tide flats to where these estuaries are. I've been here digging.
I see that, yeah.
We haven't went very far at all, and it's like, oh, there's a bear over there. Yeah, let's get up there and get a good look at him.
So this first bear, it was a really pretty bear, and I was getting pretty excited. As I was looking at this bear, Randy and Kyler point out to me that they just spotted another bear a little farther back.
He's right behind that mossy rock. It looks like a big one. Look at the long neck. That's a big bear. That's a big one. You want pretty or you want big? What do you think of this one?
I mean, He's a pretty bear. He's got a decent coat, but
Yeah, not very big.
it's not giant. That one looks intriguing.
Yeah. We just let a really nice bear walk into the trees here, but we saw a bigger bear just up here about 500 yards, so we're gonna sneak up there and see if we can get eyes on that one. He's rubbed, but he looks like a whopper.
So while we were watching that bear, then again, Kyler and Randy point out that they see a second bear, and this bear is only maybe 150 yards behind this big bear, walking the tree line, laid up against this tree and stood up and scratched his back for a while, which is pretty cool to see. Quick back scratch before his nap in the trees. This is tough. There's so many bears. If I shoot him and that's the bear, oh my God, I'm gonna be more than happy with them. But I'm also just want to keep seeing what else is out there. Super big head on him, big body, nice and long and lengthy, and just an overall great bear. The only downside to him was he was pretty rubbed up, and to be honest, I think that's what saved him. Eventually that bigger bear went into the trees as well. This spot we've been looking at leading up to this hunt, talking about we're gonna go in there and find all these bears. We haven't even made it halfway through here and we've already found 4 bears. And it's day 1 of the hunt. He's pretty rubbed up. It's just the stars haven't quite aligned yet. As we were making our way over there, before we could even get there, another bear popped up behind us. Dang.
We spent an hour watching a bear out here, and we started walking and we looked back, and right behind the rock from where we were comes this other bear that Jace is getting footage of right now. He's not as rubbed as the other big bear out here, but he's not as big. This is the second biggest bear we've seen. Jace might talk himself into it.
It's like we're at the bear sanctuary at the zoo. Beautiful bear, but I just really wanted to keep exploring and seeing what the rest of this area had to offer, because we hadn't even made it back into the back spot that I was really excited about, so it was hard for me to want to shoot something before we got there.
The Wilderness Act of 1964 was enacted the same year that I was born. And I'm thankful for the foresight many had to set aside some of our most wild landscapes and retain their special character. Those places, as they state in the Wilderness Act, are untrammeled by man, and they are truly special to hunters. Not all wild places are designated wilderness areas, but all wilderness areas are wild. For hunters, these wilderness areas create logistics that make them a bit lonelier and less pressured. And because of that, these designated wilderness areas can serve as a wildlife reservoir, overflowing to the adjacent areas such as we are hunting in this trip.
So then we started making our way deeper into this area, and when we got back there, it was absolutely beautiful. We decided to just kind of sit put and stay there for a while. So we kind of all sat down, and I just see a bear back where we came from. I'm like, oh, look at, there's a bear right there. We get to looking and I'm like, oh, that's the big one from earlier, the real big one with all the rubs. And so he decided to come back out, and he was now on the back end where we were hanging out. And the funny thing was, where Kyler was sitting, he was like taking a nap. He had fallen asleep there out in the sun.
And I ranged it, and that bear came up less than 40 yards right behind Kyler, walking up the creek.
What's your nap?
That's good.
Now, as we're doing all that, watching this rubbed bear, we look back down the drainage again, and the two bears that had been there and then disappeared now pop up.
Another great big bear came out down here, so we got to go down there, and Jace is going to shoot him. Then we're going to bring the rafts up, and we're going to float out 2 of them, because I'm going to shoot one after Jace shoots this one. Got a twofer.
And this is where the first kind of blip of the hunt happens. All of a sudden I hear some commotion behind me, and I look back, and all I see is Kyler holding our big camera up, and he's trying to keep his balance, but the current is sweeping his legs underneath him.
I had actually slipped on that same spot going in there that morning.
Once he got up, and he's like, ooh, yeah, I got a little water in my waders, and he's like, well, audio isn't working on the big camera. Fortunately, we had cell cameras. We carry these iPhones. So we were kind of set again.
We were kind of able to band-aid that situation and keep moving to go try to get these bears that were out in this field. After just a quick inspection through the spot and scope, they both looked almost identical, big mature bears with really good hides on them.
I think we're going to try to shoot one of these bears. So now we just got to cut the distance.
So Jace and I start sneaking down there. Jace is in the lead. The creek that we were in had this high bank to our side, and Jace just hugged right along that bank, and we just peek up.
Eventually, as we make our way down this little drainage canal, I set up to a spot, and now both these bears are like converging, and they're about to meet each other.
We're trying to figure out which one's bigger, which one's whatever, and I can't really tell the difference between the two. They look like twin brothers out there.
Randy actually was kind of showing interest. He's like, maybe I'll shoot one of these too.
I put a round in my chamber too, because I'm thinking, well, if Jay shoots the first one and the other one stands around wondering what's going on, I'm shooting another one. Well, all of a sudden Jace is like, ready? Yeah, we're ready.
Got him good.
And then I go to get on the other bear, and he is just hightailing it into the trees.
We were pretty stoked to get that first bear down, and yeah, just excited. It was just a picturesque time of day. It was so nice out. The sun was out.
First day, I'll take that. Now I just get to look for bears for Randy to shoot.
It kind of took us a second to find it. He completely jumped into the water, and there was just basically a little tuft of hair. So me and Randy had to hoist him out of the water there, and man, he was probably 3 times heavier with all that water on him.
Jace made an amazing shot, absolutely perfect. If you could walk up there and say, this is where I want to hit a bear, that's where Jace hit that bear. So we get all the meat off the bear, get the hide, the skull, everything taken care of, and now the clock is ticking a little bit and the tide's starting to roll back out.
God, there's a bear over here. After we got all the meat off the carcass, I thought, well, wait, I better go look at that bear. One this grass was shorter so I could lay down. This big bay here, it's like over this way it loops back, and it must have just created like a big eddy, because you can tell he couldn't see us, he didn't know what, but I should have kept going down further. Just 2 minutes ago it was coming this way.
So then from there, we finally did get back to my bear, got it all bagged up, and there was a real big tree right behind us. So we hung it up in that tree with the idea we'd spend the rest of the evening hunting and just coming back for that bear in the morning. So we kind of were slowly hunting our way out back to camp as it was getting later in the evening.
And I look over there and I'm like, oh, look at that. There's another bear just up in that little creek mouth there.
I could tell right away he had a big old head on him. He looked good.
Jace is like, I think that's a great big bear. I'm like, you sure? Then the bear decides, well, I'm gonna go feed somewhere else. And he climbs up out of that creek bottom and he starts walking away from us. I'm like, oh yeah, Jace was right. That's a great big one.
Yeah, that's a pretty big one. You see the blubber on his back legs when he walks?
Oh my gosh, that's a freaking unit.
That's a big one.
How are we gonna get across this wide stretch here? If we go back upstream where we could cross, it was shallow enough, the wind's coming right to them, so we can't go that route. There really wasn't anything we could do about it. But in my head, I said, you know what? I'm gonna hold out for that bear.
To our surprise, when we got to the rafts, things looked a little different than the way we left them. Things were kind of scattered all over, and I noticed Randy's raft was completely flat.
We got here, this raft is flipped over. Mine's got a great big hole in it. You can see a bear track right here. Another one there, here. We must have just interrupted him.
I have never had a black bear destroy my boat or my raft, but I have now.
That's a big hole. You can't, I mean, it's a big L shape.
Yeah, you can't fix that.
That's not a patch repair. We're gonna have to come up with a plan for what we do.
I told the guys, I'm like, look, let's do this. It's low tide. We'll roll my raft up, and if you guys can throw everything in the other two rafts, you guys paddle over to camp, I'll walk the shoreline, and I'll meet you over there later.
Bears keep eating our boats, we'll just be hunting from right here.
Morning 2 here in Alaska. As you can tell, the sun's gone away, and we are now experiencing true Southeast Alaska.
Since bear ate my boat last night, I gotta walk. I'm gonna meet Kyler and Jace where we beached the boats last night and tied them off, and the bear ate it and pooped next to it. And we're gonna set up a tarp like this, and we're just gonna sit and wait until that big dude comes out.
This is like how it was yesterday. It'd be nothing, and then just 7 of them would show up.
Yeah, crazy. I don't understand what causes that.
About midday, and we are just almost at high tide. So what's gonna happen here is Randy's gonna stay back here and hopefully watch and find that bear. But while the tide's up, I'm gonna grab the raft and we'll get the meat and then float back with it.
These wild places, designated wilderness areas or not, provide not just bears like we're hunting on this trip, but many other species of mammals and birds. These areas serve as sponges for watersheds, cleansing and retaining water for wildlife, for fish, and for people.
The diversity and richness of these wild lands are true treasures that Americans are blessed to call our own.
What do you think, Jace? Shoot him?
If that's what you want to do.
That's what I want to do. Bear number 6 today. Yesterday we saw 14. He's a nice bear. He's only got a little bit of rub on right there. He coming this way, Jace?
No.
Ain't going away, huh? You smell us?
No.
Hate to break it to you, Jace, but I think we're out of our allotted time. I'm gonna go grab my pack. Yogi gets to live one more night.
One more. Only one more.
Only one more? Oh, I like it. I knew the weather forecast said many more days of bad weather. We're just gonna have to tough it out. So we went back to camp, had our meals, and everybody hit the sack really early. Get up the next morning, we go over, huddle up, eat our breakfast. All right, let's repeat the same plan today. Let's go sit at that same point. Sooner or later, that bear is gonna come out.
We got to inspecting Kyler's raft, and he found a nice little gash on the bottom of it that was leaking pretty good. So Kyler's raft got taken out by some barnacles, we suspect. Me and him were about to float off this morning and meet up with Randy, and we found a decent sized leak in there. And so he's decided to walk and meet up with Randy at the spot, and then I'm paddling in. I'm about halfway there.
If you look right over my shoulder, right there, there's a young bear. Looks like a sow. She's about 90 yards away. She's in no danger, but she might want to pay better attention.
She's only 80 to 100 yards away from where the boat got chewed up. I'm holding her responsible. I think she's the one who chewed it up. Really nice boar right out in front of me here. Trying to make him out, but it's really not rubbed at all. But there's another one right there. Completely black in the face. Bigger than that. And then about noon, all of a sudden, the sun started breaking through some clouds. Jason's like, I'm hungry. And he breaks out his fry pan and a stick of butter and a back strap off his bear.
Kind of just got to enjoy ourselves and soak up the sun for a bit and eat some tasty bear. That's good stuff, boys.
Tastes like bear.
What does bear taste like?
Bear.
What's bear taste like? Good.
Yeah,
Tastes good.
that's what it tastes like. Good. So after we polished off that backstrap off that bear, then it got to the point of raining again. The sun went away, the clouds, and it started raining hard. Since the tide had just maxed out and it was slowly starting to repeat, I'm like, that's gonna be at least 2 hours before any bears come out. And I look, and there's a bear out there.
From earlier.
And he looks off to his left, our left, and he just takes off running.
I was watching a little bear out here. I couldn't tell
but there's this grass berm out in front of us a couple 100 yards, and so you just catch little bits and pieces.
Bear's over there. Wind's coming this way.
And Jace is telling me, he's like, look at where the ears are on that head. Even though we can't see the whole head, when he peeks his head up, I think that's him. I'm like, I'm not sure. I got to get a better look at him.
Jace is convinced it's Big Eddie. I'm gonna sneak around this ledge.
And we're sneaking, and I'm checking the wind, because I'm remembering from the first day, when you get in these little back bays, sometimes you get these eddies, the current, and I'm just like, not this time, not this time. And now I can see him from like here up. I'm like, that's him. You're right, Jace. That's him. I look back at the guys and they're giving me the thumbs up. And after I turn to look back from them, I look and the bear is now sitting up like this and he's just locked in on all of us. I'm like, oh no. This is where I made the mistake. So I'm already gonna tell you, I screwed up. Instead of either laying down again and getting fully prone or sitting on my butt and using my pack and using my knee to rest like this, I got in a hurry. I'm on both my knees and I just have the barrel across the frame of my pack. I'm like, okay, yeah, there, boom. Whack! I half-assed it.
Did you tell anything on the shot? I got it. It felt good. I looked center body. I'm gonna give him a minute. And I'm gonna have you. Can you mark where he went in? I think he went that tallest white tree. I think he went in just left of that.
We walk over and we can find where he pooped. And you can see all the broken grass and all the tearing up and the big scuff marks of where he goes into the tree.
Definitely went right between the two.
So I'm gonna go up there with the gun and I'm gonna look for blood. And then you guys come in behind me as I make progress.
Do you want me to run the camera behind you? Because I don't have a gun. It's like, I don't have any. It's always a little unnerving going in after a bear that's been shot at into some thick brush.
Since I have a live round, I don't want anybody out in front of me. Don't step anything down here.
And so I can see a scuff mark where he goes over, tore the moss off this big tree that was down. And
I know he made it to here,
but he's still not bleeding. So I grabbed the phone again and I'm looking at it. I'm like, that's way lower than I thought I held for.
I stuck my head in there, I can't find any blood.
And we keep going, following the scuff marks, and he runs through this big batch of skunk cabbage. I find a little speck of blood, not even as big as my pinky nail. A little bit here, a little bit there. Okay, where did he go from there? Some up there. I screwed this up. There should be pools of blood, and he should have been expired by now. Blood here. This goes on for quite a while, better part of 2 hours. And this guy, he just keeps going and going and going, and it disappears. This wasn't the shot you thought you made. I know that bear's still alive. That doesn't even, that's not even a question in my mind, but we're out here, we're talking about the lives of animals. And if I pull that trigger or I release that arrow, the damn thing better be lethal or I've messed up.
It's never fun losing an animal. It's a pretty upsetting process. I had a bear that I lost myself last spring in Montana, and whoever the hunter may be, just give them some space and let them kind of work it over, because they're usually going through a lot of emotions at that time.
Once a bullet goes, you don't get to take it back. It's just how it is. No redos in hunting. Only consolation I can take from it is that I don't think he was hit very hard. I think he's just fine. He never stopped. He never laid down. Didn't slow down. If he was hit hard that he's gonna die from it, he would have stopped and bedded a few times. But anyhow, I'm gonna walk back to camp, try to clear my head a little bit here. Right now I'm not in the kind of mood that probably makes a lot of sense. Those of you who've watched our show, you know our theory is we've adopted the law that Alaska has related to black bears. And the law Alaska has and that we use in our show is if you draw blood, you're done. So with that, my hunt's over. Well, here's the deal. We just sent an inReach to the pilot, Scott, and he asked how our bay looked. Well, not raining and it's calm. He said he's gonna get ready for a departure in an hour. And if it's clear, he'll come. If it's not, he'll let us know he's not coming.
So all in all, this trip really meant a lot to me to be able to be out here, sharing a tag and a hunt with Randy. I know it didn't end as great as Randy had wished with his bear. It's an unfortunate thing that's gonna happen every now and then, but it's a hunt that I will never forget. It's gonna be hard to top this.
Scott gets there, we're in a hurry, we're getting the plane loaded, and so Kyler jumps up on the float. I don't even see it happening, I'm already in the plane, and I hear some less than enthusiastic language. Kyler's cell phone just fell into the ocean. Like, what? That's got half of our footage on it. We looked for it for a long time and we couldn't find it.
Well,
as Bart May would say, my phone's down with Davy Jones. He's probably watching all of our sweet all-in spotting scope footage that was on it.
Scott texts me, he's like, hey, I tell you what, I don't want to give up on that phone. I'd like to see if that thing is as waterproof as Apple says they are. And if you guys are willing to do it, I'll fly you out there for the price of gas. And we'll go at low tide and we'll try to find that thing.
It is smaller than expected, but it works.
Kyler found some lady in town who sold him underwater metal detector.
Well, it's got lights on it, you know. That's pretty far away from that phone. That might work. It gets my watch.
It won't stop vibrating. I mean, it vibrates over my knee. Look at that. I don't have any. What's going on? It's vibrating nonstop.
That son.
Thanks to Scott. He's the one who talked us into this. Jace, what are we doing?
Searching for Kyler's phone. Doing a visual inspection.
We've been out here for almost an hour now. The tide's starting to come back up. And once the tide reverses and starts coming back up, that phone's gonna be way underwater. Spent the whole low tide period, even part of when the tide was coming back in, and we could not find that phone.
One of the things that I learned in the military is that anything that is mission critical, really, really important, you tie it down.
Yeah.
You get like a little piece of string with a little clip on it, and you tie it to your person or your backpack. And I guess when we're out here in the water, especially with the rafts, phones are pretty critical, so I should probably tie it down.
As we leave this special place, without the phone or the footage on that phone, I'm again fascinated by the experience. I'd never been to this location, and looking at my map of Alaska, the number of unexplored locations that I still want to see far outnumber the many places in Alaska where I've been. I won't live long enough to see all that calls me in Alaska. Yet I take comfort in knowing that the next generation of Americans, Jace, Kyler, and maybe you who are watching, you will have the chance to explore those places I've been and those places I'll probably never get to. So go there, see it, smell it, live it, even eat it. And when the time comes, give your voice to these special places and the wild things that need you.